Now, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, has challenged the Nigerian Bar Association to rise and defend the integrity of the Nigerian judiciary. Now, this is contained in a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the Chief Justice of Nigeria on Media, Tobi Soniyi, responding to the call by members of the NBA Bar and Bench Forum for more protection for judicial officers. The Chief Justice of Nigeria states that most of the petitions against judges accusing them of corruption are frivolous, baseless, and unsubstantiated. Justice Kekere-Ekun stated that some people write petitions against judges just to intimidate them. The Chief Justice noted that judges are traumatized after they have been investigated and found to have done nothing wrong. And so, to help make sense of this, we are joined by legal practitioner Bayo Sanni. Bayo, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Honored to be here.
Grand.
Thank you.
So, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, has challenged the Nigerian Bar Association to rise and defend the integrity of the Nigerian judiciary. Let's take your thoughts, please.
Well, the call made by the Chief Justice of the Federation is a good one. It's a welcome call. And that does not call for just the bar to rise up to defend the judicial system or the judiciary in Nigeria, but it should be a joint effort. Both the bar and the bench both have roles to play, critical roles to play in the defense of the judiciary in Nigeria. Don't forget that judiciary, even though it's the third arm of government in Nigeria, we've always been, judiciary has always battled the issue of autonomy, oppression of judges, and lack of funds and what have you. And at the same time, it's a very, very sacred institution that must indeed be protected, because it is the last hope of the common man. When the common man in the society cannot get justice, what kind of society are we now seeking to build? So I believe that it's a welcome development. I quite agree, but I believe it is not just a responsibility that should be placed on the shoulders of the bar. Both the bar and the bench have critical roles to play in this situation.
So let's talk about the quality of these allegations or challenges that are brought against the judges. The CJN called them baseless, called them frivolous as well. Let's talk about the trauma that they go through. How does this impact or affect the judges?
It is true. When you have been accused wrongly of doing something, normal human being will be traumatized by such accusation, especially when you have done nothing wrong and you have gone through a whole lot of stressful proceedings to ensure that towards the determination of your guilt or innocence. However, we shouldn't call the entire petitions baseless. Most times when we talk about petitions against judges, we always look at it from the angle of corruption. Most times it's not just corruption. What about incompetence? What about incompetence, which of course includes pure, when the knowledge of law of the judge, who's supposed to be a master when it comes to laws and letters, you understand? But when the knowledge of law is also in doubt, this calls for petition. Sometimes it's not just about corruption. Maybe the judge has taken bribe or something, or just unnecessarily biased. But incompetence is another issue. Laziness, lack of due diligence. These are issues that lawyers take to NJC about judges. So we shouldn't just view it from the angle of corruption alone and now have a conclusive opinion on the fact that most of these cases are baseless just because the judge was able to explain to the panel that, the judge did not receive any bribe and stuff. But you see, incompetence, lack of diligence can even occasion miscarriage of justice, even beyond corruption. When you talk about the judge that should have delivered judgment within 3 months, as stipulated in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the judge is spending up to 200 days, years in delivering such judgment, you understand? That is also miscarriage of justice. It's not only when justice has been decided in favor or against somebody that can occasion miscarriage of justice. Endless wait. So you have to protect the rest or the subject matter of the litigation. You have to also determine the right or fairness of any act that has been taken against anybody. You understand? These are all issues that are going to be. So we shouldn't look at it only from the angle of corruption alone. We should look at it. So when lawyers write against judges, petition against judges, sometimes it's not just about corruption. Sometimes it's about their competence, their lack of diligence, or perhaps some personal, some judges even display emotional attitude towards cases just because this is what happened. You just take a very I don't want to use the word shallow now, but sometimes maybe myopic decision on some issues. This can also lead to petitions against such judges. So I do not agree that most of these petitions are baseless.
Okay. Well, let's talk about accountability now. How does the judiciary ensure that judges are held accountable while also protecting them from the reputational damage caused by these, and I put that in quote, unfounded allegations?
There's a constitutional provision for that. And that's exactly why NJC as a body has been established. Nigerian Judicial Council. That's the highest body, do you understand, that looks into the actions, that looks into how judges play their roles as legal or law officers in the society. Do you understand? So part of this procedure is this issue of petition. Either even a member of the public can write a petition against a judge. It's not necessarily coming from, it shouldn't necessarily come from the lawyer. It can also come from the litigants themselves against the judge who felt that there has been a miscarriage of justice against them by virtue of the action or procedure adopted by the judge. Also, government can also do that. So there are constitutional provisions, do you understand, to put these judges on their toes. However, there are also ways to treat frivolous petitions so that it will, somebody who has been wrongfully accused. And you know, in Nigeria today, we have media trial. Once there's an accusation, it goes to the media, and the media and such person has already been condemned, either on the pages of the newspaper or on TV. So coming back to your normal life, that people will not even hear the end of the story. They won't read the end of the story. So that's one of the things that make those, leaves those judges traumatized. However, there are procedures. Once you find out that, this is a frivolous petition, there is LPDC too, Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee. Have they been doing that? These are questions that we should put also to the NJC. Okay, you have looked into several petitions and you have found that some of these petitions are baseless. How many lawyers have you recommended for disciplinary action at the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary before the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee for filing such a frivolous, for presenting such frivolous allegations? And frivolous allegations are weighty allegations against a judge, for that matter. Okay. You know, we just left a not too palatable scenario where somebody wrote some facts in a book against judges up to the Supreme Court and some senior members of this profession. We all saw what that caused in the society. And I don't even think we have recovered from that damage today, whether right or wrong. You know, so these are the.
Bayo Sanni, I want to say thank you very much for those legally trained submissions there. Thank you
very much.
You're welcome.